Welcome to my Suburban Oasis. We're here in my way back. I just got some trees here that were shipped to me bare root from the National Arbor Day Foundation. I bought them earlier this spring, but because COVID hit at the time that they were being delivered, they got stuck in the mail for like 2 months and they were just dry as sticks when I got them. So thankfully they're very good there, and they have shipped me out a new bundle of them. So we're going to be planting a Burbank plum, a cherry, and maybe a red maple here. And what's the other one? I forget. I think there's 4 of them. So we'll go ahead and get started. What I have today, because we have deer that come back here, is I have some fencing. And this fencing I just got at Home Depot, and it is 4 feet tall, and that should help to protect them from being eaten down to nubs over the winter, because we do get quite a bit of deer traffic back here. I have some shovels with me. I have 2 shovels. One is smaller and one is bigger. These are my Super Root Slayer shovels. I will be doing a video later this winter about some of the tools I use, but just so you know, these are amazing. After you use them, you'll start to think that regular shovels just don't work and that they're just for scooping loose soil. They have fantastic serrated edges on them and sort of a V-shaped bottom that just slices right through the soil. So it's excellent when you're digging in hard clay soil like I have, or other rocky or root areas. I dug up a lilac with this and it broke through the roots really well. So I have this one. This is the perennial version, and then if I need it, I have the full-size version of the Root Slayer, which is heavier, but they both work great. And then I have a big thing full. It looks like it's pool chemicals, but it's actually biotone because it comes in bags, so I just put it in this bucket. And so biotone will help get the roots started after I dig the holes for them. And bare root plants don't look amazing when you get them, but one of the things that's good about them is that they tend to actually adapt to the new soil better than those that are potted when you buy them. So even though the first year is rather slow, they tend to just grow right past a similar size potted plant. Not sure exactly why that is, but it's the truth. So in addition to that, I just brought some tin snips with me to clip the fencing, and then a few landscape staples here to help keep the fencing in the ground. All right, let's get started. Okay, so right now I'm just separating the trees out. They were tied together at the root, and then they get packed in like this wool material with some hydrogel in there to help keep them watered, but they all look pretty good. This is the kanzan cherry tree right here. This here is the plum, the Burbank plum. This here is the red maple. This is a redbud, Cirsus canadensis. And this is a beautyberry bush. So we're going to start with the plum tree. And I started digging a hole. So what you want to do, the reason why they're in a bucket, is after you get a bare root tree, you do want to soak them in some water just to make sure that they are well hydrated, since they've been in the mail. So they've been in this bucket for about 4 hours. You can do it for about 4 to 6 hours. You don't really want to do too much more than that. It's just, again, to make sure that they're hydrated and have something good going for them when you put them in the ground. So this one looks pretty good. You can see the stem's nice and green, and the roots look pretty good as well, and so we're going to go ahead and get it in the ground. The other nice thing about these is that you don't have to dig holes as wide as you do with those that are in pots already, because you need to dig the holes about twice as wide as a pot. And you can see there's not much space around here. So we just want to loosen up the soil around it. So I started digging a hole over here. Gonna dig it in. So when we plant, we want to plant at the root level. We don't want to bury it too far so that they're nice and happy. So we'll probably plant it right about here. And I'm going to get some biotone in the hole, and then we'll do some backfill. One of the things that you also want to consider is making sure that you don't kind of amend the soil. It's very tempting to do, especially if you have really heavy clay soil like I do in this area, but trees actually do better if you plant them in the native soil so that they adapt right away to that soil. So we'll get some biotone in. And since the soil is so heavy, I'm just going to put in a whole bunch of the biotone here. And before I fill the soil back in, I'm actually going to pour some water in there. Right now the soil is pretty moist, and we're expecting some snow tomorrow, but a high of like 39. So even though it will snow, it will also likely melt. So it will get some more moisture tomorrow as well. So now I'm just going to break up the soil and put it in there. And it doesn't really matter if you have, you know, some weeds or whatever that's in there. If you're planting in an area like me, it really doesn't matter if you put those in directly to the hole, because they'll just break down. The worms will eat them up, and it'll help make the soil even better for the tree. So I'm just going to lift it up a little bit there because I had it down a little bit low. The other thing you want to keep in mind when you plant trees is that sometimes after you plant them, because you've loosened the soil and it's a little bit more porous, it will actually kind of sink, and you don't want your tree to sink with it. So just make sure that, again, it's not beneath the soil level. I'm just going to firm it around the roots here as I go. And after we, film this one, we'll go ahead and plant the rest, because the process is pretty much the same. But I want to go nice and slow with you on this one and explain the process and the steps of what I'm doing before we jump into those. Now is a great time of year to plant because it's fall and things are pretty moist. And in addition to that, the trees are dormant, so they can put all of their energy into making those roots. And that biotone that I put in there will also help them stay put. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to do the fencing at the end, all of the fencing at the same time. So we'll leave this one here and go do the rest just the same way that we did this one. Alright, so one of the things that's also important as you plant these trees is, especially for fruit trees, is that you find a place where they're going to be able to get sun. So I'm growing a lot of evergreens down here, and I want to make sure this side is the south facing, so anything on this side of the other trees that I have planted should get fairly consistent sun. There are some trees to the east, but during midday and late day, and all during the winter this winter, they'll get plenty of sun. All right, that one looks good. Let's go get the maple tree. Gonna grab that, buddy? All right, now we're gonna plant the red maple tree. And my son says this is the worst place to plant one because it's on a slope, but it'll be okay. And if it's not, that's okay because this red maple tree was free with my order. So when you're planting on a slope with the maple tree, do you have a full thing? Awesome. When you're planting on a slope, you want to make it even with the back and then keep the slope going beneath it. So not much of a trick. You just don't want to put it down like this and then bury it. Okay?
What will happen when a tree's above it?
When a tree's above it?
Yes.
Like up high?
Yes.
It'll just shade it.
Oh.
Want to pour that in the hole? And then get some water? Can you get some water too for me? Good job.
Yes.
It's good. It's good. It's empty. All right, this water's behind you. All right, good job. After we're all done planting all of these, like I said, we'll put fences around them and we will water them all in. How's that look? Does it look straight, guys? Like that?
Yes, it does.
Thank you, helpers.
You're missing a little spot.
Okay.
It could fall over. Won't the water help it stick together?
It will. It will help all of the soil kind of fold in around the bottom of it. Now, one of the other things about planting on a slope that you should know is the water runs down. So you don't want to plant something on a slope that needs a lot of water. This is a maple tree, so it shouldn't require any excessive amounts of water and it should be fine here. But you know, time will tell. Plants definitely are very clear about whether they like where they're at or not. And sometimes you just got to try. So I think this one will be happy here though.
As long as the storm doesn't come, and the roots grow better.
All right, we have one Cirrus canadensis to plant. We're gonna put that up there.
Don't forget that there's a pot behind you.
Here you go. All right, so now we're gonna plant the redbud, aka Cirrus canadensis. This has beautiful flowers on it in the springtime, and they're like red buds. Ugh. I'm telling you, my regular shovel would not go through this.
Because it has roots.
Yeah.
On that tree. That tree. I can hear the crackling of the roots.
Yeah, so you can see that big root right there. Just chopped right through it. Root Slayer.
I just got a lot.
I am not paid by the Root Slayer company to tell you how amazing this tool is, by the way. I just like it. I've recommended it to family, friends, and neighbors. And those that have taken my advice and gotten one, love it.
Don't forget
I think I need to dig a little deeper.
Don't forget to tell them where to get it? Like at what places?
Yeah, you can get them on Amazon. Locally here in Michigan, they sell them at different places.
Where did you get it?
Alright, buddy, I got mine off Amazon. Ready? Give it some biotone juice. Alright, let me take this out of here.
Oh my, you just... That's enough, that's enough, that's enough. Don't pour too much.
Nah, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Time to fill it in.
Yeah, don't get your feet all dirty, girls.
My shoes protect my feet.
But there's nothing that protects your shoes from the dirt. Alright.
I'm gonna get new shoes soon, so...
Really?
Yeah, in the spring. Or summer. I don't know.
Alright, so this looks pretty good. One of the things about redbuds is they also will produce seeds. They produce little pods with seeds in them every spring after they're done flowering. And so you may find some little volunteers around. That's how I got about 4 or 5 of the plants that are in my yard right now. This one I ordered obviously before springtime and didn't know I was going to have all of those volunteers, which came into my yard from a neighbor's plant. But I'm happy to have this one as well. So it's in the ground. Last thing to plant today is a beautyberry bush. These have pretty purple berries in the fall. And it's teeny tiny. But it'll be just fine. I'm going to plant it next to the redbud so it can grow underneath of it. Okay. We don't need as much for this one.
Oh, now just dump it
Yeah,
all.
just don't dump all of it.
Dump it down a little down the side.
Okay. Go ahead and put it in.
Can I dump down?
Okay. That should be good.
Just a little.
Good job. Hey, go put it back in the bucket.
Okay.
Okay. So this then will go in the same fence as the canadensis right here, and that way I won't have to worry about the rabbits or the deer eating that over the winter. Because again, we're in our way back garden where we get a lot more wildlife, and we get plenty of it in our front yard and our backyard, but even more so back here. So all right, we'll get those fences up and then show you what it looks like. Here we go. All right, here we go. We're gonna use these handy dandy Tim snips to make some fences that go around each of them. So we're gonna cut 4 different panels. When I cut them, I like to cut them in the middle because then I can use each of the ends that are open to fold over, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to take this landscape staple, hold this side in, and then as I close this around here, you'll see how these can overlap. And so I just like to fold them in, and it does take some finger strength, but it just kind of locks it in place and keeps it from springing back open. That way you don't have to use any plastic zip ties. You can use it again next year, etc., etc. And I do recommend wearing gloves because they are sharp and pointy. The thicker the gloves, the better to protect your fingers. So yeah, that one's done. Quick and easy. Well, we are done. I got all of the trees in, including the beautyberry bush, and my dear son here helped me so well. Thank you, helper. All right, so we got them in, we got them watered, we got them fenced. They are good to go. Thanks for joining us on our tree journey today. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, click the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. And if you really want to know whenever a new video is coming out, click that notification bell and you'll know right away. Thanks for joining us. Bye.